dwelling on the loss or anything like that. But I mean, getting in there, getting a win again, getting that behind. I mean, how important was it to get that result tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You just got to hop back on that horse. We said a couple days ago, I let that first string of losses really get to my head, and kind of thought the whole world was ending. And the older you get, the more you realize this sport is full of ups and downs, and you can learn so much from a loss. And like I was saying, there's so much freedom that comes with a loss. To be able to, it all depends on how you bounce off the bottom, and I bounced off the canvas the last fight, and just so happens I was able to hop in the cage and then make another guy bounce off the canvas. That's the game, man. It's a game of inches, and it's a game of stick-to-itiveness all the way to the end. And here I am, 10 years into the sport, just fought at the Mecca of MMA, and this was an awesome experience. This was really cool. It's like as I was saying the other day, it's almost unfortunate how you don't really get to truly enjoy it as much as you should, because you can't be as present as you want to be. But I tried to be as present as I possibly could be and enjoy this experience.
I know I had a lot of respect for Sidney, and you said, listen, man, he can have his Rocky moment, right? So I mean, overall, your feeling in there and how it played out versus your expectations. I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, you never quite know. I mean, for me, my coaches had me with a great game plan of getting to the body hard, slow him down a little bit. He's a big body in there. You saw this, there's a little bit of a size difference, he's a little bit taller. He's athletic. He's strong. We knew he had. That first takedown exchange where I kicked out, he grabbed me. He's the real deal, man. He's got some, as we saw with the Roger Huerta fight. We've seen some of his other fights. If he gets his hands on you, he's not going to let you up very soon. So get to the body, be fast, be in and out, and that's what we were doing. We were making some debits to the body. That paid off later, and he thought I was going to the body, came to the head, and finished him.
Well, interesting you say that. So the finish, I mean, was it a little surprising? Because it was the sequence was interesting. Would it surprise you that you got it done that way?
I mean, yeah, it's always a surprise. There's nothing. It's so crazy as an outsider. You look at a fight and you think, oh man, it looks predictable, because it almost sometimes looks choreographed, because things just work out so perfectly. But this worked out perfectly. But we were doing damage to the body. I think he thought we were going to the body, and then went to the head, and I was starting to set up some of the leg kick stuff, some of the ups and downs, some of the hands setting up the takedowns setting up the hands, and finished in the first round, which is great. Nice.
Last thing for me, I mean, you mentioned the freedom that you have, but I mean, what is on the horizon? I mean, are you thinking about what should come next for you, or what will come next, or what's you just want?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the 155 belt's tied up, so I'm not going to sit here and dwell on that. It's tied up for a while, and it's tied up because I let it get tied up, right? So there's no finger I can point at anybody besides myself. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I mean, it's crazy. It's 3 PM here in Tokyo, so we have a lot of time to hang out with my favorite people in the entire world. So it's gonna be fun. Have a little bit of downtime. Get back to Nashville and love on my family, who would make such a crazy sacrifice for these last 2 months. My wife works so hard, and she's basically a single mother while I'm down in Florida training for 2 months at a time. My son, I made a promise to him when we adopted him, that I was going to love and take care of him for the rest of his life and meet every single need, and I haven't been able to do that these last 2 months. So it's my job and my duty to get back to and wrap him up in my arms and be dad for the next couple months, and stay in shape. And man, I'm just, like I said, like I touched on the other day, I'm so extremely blessed to be able to do this as long as I have been doing it, make a great living, great experiences, make great friends, great family, a great brotherhood that we have, and just excited. So we'll see what's next. Probably fight. Bellator always puts on a big card in May, June-ish. So we'll shoot for that.
The fight started a little bit slowly with you guys feeling each other out, and then the finale came very quickly. What were you thinking when the finale came?
Like I said, it's crazy. It was fast. It was, and it's so weird too, because you punch him once and then he eats it. You punch him again, he eats it, and then all of a sudden, you punch and he just goes down. You're almost like, whoa, that was weird. That was. You're like, well, and then obviously he kind of went down and came back up, and I was able to throw that one last one. But when I was younger, man, I used to just run forward with reckless abandon, bite down the mouthpiece, and freaking just go, right? So I wasn't thinking a lot. So I am thinking a lot more when I'm in that cage now. I'm more of a veteran. I've been in the hundreds and thousands of dollars of sparring rounds, and now tons of time in the cage. So It's always a surprise when a guy goes down because I always expect him not to go down because whenever you expect him to go down, that's only just going to plant seeds of doubt in your head. So
does that flash in your head? That was weird?
no, it wasn't weird. Afterwards, I wouldn't say weird. It's more like, wow, that was
surprising.
That was cool.
Right.
That's how I would imagined it to happen. You know, it kind of went down, went limp, and you know, this is like I said, this is a game of inches, man, and I'd be silly to not sit here and say, man, the same exact thing happened to me 6 months ago, back in May. Man, this is how this goes, and that's what I said to him after this fight. Number one, man, hats off to Sidney Outlaw because without Sidney Outlaw, this whole experience would not have been possible. You know, when Benson Henderson gets hurt, Sidney Outlaw steps up on 4 weeks' notice, makes the weight. You know, he's a guy who has had a history of not making weight in the past. He's a big body, he's a big guy, and so I commend him. My hats off to him for coming in, being a professional, coming across the world, taking this fight. I hope he got compensated well by Bellator, and he made the weight, came out, and you know, bloodied my lip, and for a couple minutes there, we were feeling each other out. But man, he came hard, came to fight, and it was a good fight.
Awesome, thank you.
And I have a question. You're supposed to fight Benson Henderson, and if the fight is going to be scheduled here, did you believe this fight against Henderson will happen soon?
You know, we'll see. You know, I mean, I've always said, you know, Benson and I were obviously rivals, opponents, and we're guys that will probably end up stepping in the cage again. But I do respect him. I respect his resolve and how tough he is. I know he fought me last time with a torn ACL, so the guy's not a wimp. He's not a guy who pulls out of fights without serious injury. So I'm sure he had a serious injury. In steps Sidney Outlaw, and we got the job done tonight. But you know, Benson's a big name and a great test. So I'd love to give him a fight.
And my last one for me, you know, you have a recently history with Patricio Pitbull, but now Patricio has had business in Grand Prix, some stuff like that. Did you still waiting for Patricio to make a rematch, or maybe have some other plans?
No, I'm not waiting for Patricio at all in any aspect of life. You know, I lost to him. 2-1 against the Pitbull brothers as of right now. But you know, so like I said, I got nobody to point the finger at besides myself. I lost that fight. If it ever gets on, you know, if he ever figures out what he's doing with the Grand Prix, wins it or doesn't win or whatnot, we'll see what happens. For me, not that the belt doesn't matter, but man, the paychecks are the same whether I go in and there's a belt on the line or not. You know, fighting in front of Saitama Super Arena crowd, this was great. So I'm in this for the experiences. I'm in this for the becoming a better human being, becoming a better competitor, a better man every single day. So we'll see what happens.
You talk about experience. What was the beyond outside of fighting Outlaw? What was the experience of just being in a cage and just being able to hear your corner, hearing your opponent's breathing, hearing like words of encouragement from row 39?
Yeah, it is crazy, and people always talked about it, obviously, and I have been to a fight here. I went to and cornered my teammate Ong at one championship here, so I saw and kind of heard the mystique inside of the arena here. It wasn't at the Saitama, but so I kind of had an experience as a fan watching. But yeah, tonight, man, hearing the canvas, hearing the cracks, hearing the, you know, man, I can hear him breathe, hear his coaches, hear my coaches, I can hear the commentators, you can hear Big John McCarthy and Goldberg, you know, so it's crazy, and it's cool, man. I don't mean to rub it in anybody's face who hasn't been able to fight here, but this was really, really cool. The walkout was cool, the theatrics were cool, the fans were absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just cool. You get treated like a real superstar over here, and it really is cool, and I would love to fight in Tokyo every single fight the rest of my life if I can, so.
You said the lightweight title is, you know, held up right now. The lightweight Grand Prix is happening on New Year's Eve. They'll crown a winner, basically the champion of Rising lightweight division. Does that interest you? A fight over there?
I would love that, man. I mean, obviously this is great, man. Hats off to Scott Coker and Sakai Kibara for coming together and making this cool co-promotion. I mean, it's cool to be fighting for Bellator. I've been fighting for Bellator now for 8-9 years, but you guys are wearing Rising credentials. It's saying Rising all over the place. We're working with Rising people. This is a true co-promotion, a true working together for the betterment of the fighters and the fight sport itself. So this is cool, man. So you know, and I remember Coker talking about this a couple years ago, and now it's happening. So this is cool. So I would love to be able to fight. Like I said, I love Tokyo. I love Japan. I would love to be able to fight in that Grand Prix. If Bellator would let me go over there and rather than have me, or if anybody gets hurt, injured, I can make weight in 2 days. Let me know.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks.
Cool. Awesome.